Because my body is the earth, right? I'm a microcosm of the planet. The universe lives within my body, and the way I treat myself and my inner world is reflected in the outer world. And so it was interesting. It kind of became like this meditation of, picking up this trash and seeing it as kind of like my trash, like the debris within me that I've not been tending to. And then I came home and I was going to start an art project that's about being a ripple, the effect. And I started thinking about, small acts that I've done that I know have had an effect, and that felt kind of good. But then I didn't have the materials to actually do this art project, and so then I was like, okay, back to, I just feel like things keep happening like that, where like I get an idea to do something and it doesn't work, and I'm back to kind of like, okay, like not having a plan and being really present with, okay, like what wants to come through in this moment. So then I did this, I'm kind of following along this book by the woman who wrote The Artist's Way, Julie Cameron. It's called Walking something. What is it called? Walking in This World. And the chapter I'm on, I kind of just read it sporadically, but the chapter I'm on is called, I don't know what it's called, but the topic that I was interested in was called Back on the Horse. And the horse metaphor is huge for me. It's always been. I'm a Sagittarius and born in the year of the horse. And actually yesterday in the talk the guy gave, he also talked about his, like, at the end of the day, he's worked his body really hard all his life. He only sleeps 4 hours and he's always busy, and he's like 70 or something. And he said at night he pats down his body, he actually like hugs it and tells his body how much he loves it and realizes the difference it makes. And he says that he feels like the body is like his horse. And the way that horses, if you like run them really hard and you just like comb them and brush them, and not comb them, yeah, brush them and just like love them, that they're like prepared and ready for the next thing. And that, yeah, just really hit me. Just, that's why it came to me to forgive myself for the way I've treated my body, because like my body is amazing, and yet like right now my ankle's hurting and my back is hurting, and it's just, how much it does for me without any complaint. And then when I have like a little bit of pain, it's like focusing on that and like why aren't I healthy, and wanting it to speed up. And it's like, yeah, how about just some care? How about just letting it rest and not feeling like that's not okay, or like I should be exercising or whatever. Anyway, so in that book, in this exercise, she was talking about how sometimes it's really important for us to acknowledge she was talking about as an artist, like our creative disappointments, the things that we're like, oh, that doesn't bother me much, but it actually really does. And those little traumas that we have that we don't really want to admit has hurt us, but it actually keeps us from going forward. So just like naming them helps. So I didn't limit it to like artistic disappointments, because I mean everything is creative, and so I just said like write a list of 10 things. And I think I'm going to share these. This is very vulnerable for me because it shows how it makes me feel petty, but for the sake of vulnerability. So one, I felt really disappointed when I gave free psychic readings at an art residency I was at. I gave like almost 30 readings. And I gave them because I was guided to do so. But, of course, the calculating part of me was like, oh, well, this makes sense because maybe, I'm going to do these readings and people will get benefit, and then, it will naturally be like people will give me referrals and, want to follow up. And so I thought, yeah, it was just this coming together of a talent and a business kind of idea. And then when I was there, I gave these readings and people told me at least that they had amazing results. And And then I felt like I never heard again from any of these people, like nothing, you know? And it felt a little bit like, it just surprised me, because I feel like if I received a reading like that from someone that I received a lot of benefit from, one, I would at least like keep in touch with them. I mean, just because I'd be interested in them as a person. And then also just to, yeah, I feel like I would refer people, or, and that actually has happened, but anyway, I was disappointed at that time. So, yeah. Number two, that someone I'm very close to, keeps my relationship, like a secret, or doesn't want to, yeah, share it with the world. Three, that a client I worked with didn't experience like the joyful awakening that I thought was, I don't know, possible or waiting for her. And that in the painting I'm working with her right now, there's like no clear message. Like, there's lots of messages, but like no real strong, clear one. And for me, like, I receive that feeling of like illumination or revelation from my art and my work, like when it's like rock solid clear. Like, that's when I get the feel the most delight, and the most fulfilled. And of course, that it always happens, but it takes time. And so I'm in that time right now where I'm not seeing that yet, and so I don't feel that big thing. The fact that I had this idea for this partnership with a friend of mine that felt so like aligned and exciting, and then now it doesn't feel right anymore, or I'm not sure, and the fact that I'm not even sure, that I can't, I feel like I can't trust myself, like, that was disappointing. That my mom is not as energized or awake or whatever. Like, I feel like I can't heal her. Yeah. Number 6, that I don't feel much when I do this tantric dance exercise that I did with Jaya at this Living in Heaven event. It's like when someone is holding space for you, that's that powerful. And other women too, that feels really different than when you're doing the practice alone. And I'm trying to stay with it and know that it has value, even though I don't feel anything. But it's disappointing, because I kind of wish I was, I don't know, more aware of what I was doing. That I'm getting guidance, and have been for some time, about creating a community, and I feel like I've tried in different ways, and that I'm still getting this guidance, and I don't know what the fuck the structure is or how. That's disappointing. Number 8, I have a meetup group that has over like 100 members, which is great, but when I've held gatherings, like very few people show up, and sometimes it's a little bit awkward, and yeah, it's disappointing. Because I feel like what I'm offering is like really special, and there are these great insights that happen. So, I mean, in that way, I guess it shouldn't be disappointing, because it's like some really powerful stuff happens, but in another sense, it makes me more disappointed, because I'm like, why doesn't it feel like, I don't know, like it's having more of an impact, or like more people aren't attracted to this. Number 9, the class that I created, or was in the middle of creating, just not feeling like it was, like I was so inspired, and then it just didn't feel like it was the right time, or that people were interested but not interested enough to actually like commit. Like, I don't know, just that the whole thing didn't really work out as I wanted. That no one is responding to me from the meditation museum, so the meditation museum felt like a really good place for me to kind of speak or share my work, and I sent them this email that was like really heartfelt, and no one responded to me, like, at all. And this was the second time I did that. So, and then I also got a really big hit around Periscope, like doing Periscope videos or broadcasts, and all the YouTube videos I made. And I just felt like, I don't know, like, why did I get so excited about it when there doesn't seem to be any interest or response? And so again, I wrote these kind of letting myself be the victim thing without being like, I mean, because I know, you know, even as I'm saying them, I kind of feel like I need to put a disclaimer, like actually people were interested, or, you know, I did get feedback, but but yeah, if I'm being honest, I was disappointed. Like I wanted more, you know, and so then, you know, what Julie Cameron suggests that you do is, you know, be gentle with yourself and then kind of try to write like something that you can do to get back on the horse, you know. So if you had something disappointed you, then what's something that you can do to kind of like be like, okay, I was disappointed, but I'm going to try again. And I didn't feel like doing that because I'm looking at these things and I kind of felt like there's nothing for me to do. I mean, they're just kind of things that happen. There's nothing for me to really do. It's just like accepting them. But as I sat there, I started to write. I just started to journal about like what I'm afraid of, and yeah, like I'm afraid. Let's just say more. Let's just say it all right now. I'm afraid of. I'm working with Jaya, my business coach, who I really like and feel supported by, but I still feel like I'm not making the money that I need, and like the time I've paid with her is almost up, and it's like, am I gonna, like, do I want to continue working with her? And I mean, I do, but it's like, do I want to go into more debt, and like just that whole thing, and then that I don't know where I'm meant to be. Like I knew that I was supposed to be home where I am for the time that I am to like work out stuff with my family. But when I went to Portland, it felt really aligned, and like I've been to Portland before and got like visions that I was meant to live there. And so felt really like, oh, okay, the time is now, like I'm going to be going soon. And it's really awesome actually. My mom was even like, well, if you really want to move there, let's all go take a trip this summer and kind of like do a reconnaissance trip, and which was really cool. But I'm like, again, kind of back to like, I don't even know anymore. I still don't know. And it's just always weird to like feel like you don't know where you belong. And then like, yeah, my romantic relationships, like just not knowing what I want, like what I want to explore and what's really nourishing me, and what is just an idea or whatever. And this whole thing about creating community, and like I don't even know my purpose anymore. It just keeps like, yeah, this sense of confusion, or feeling so passionate and then like feeling like it's completely gone. And so I just wrote, you know, like, God, that I'm open to guidance. I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve. And that's really all I want. And it's like, and I'm open to like admitting that maybe I don't know what it looks like. Maybe like what I've been doing so far is not actually it. And if not, then like, okay, just show me the next thing. And if it is it, if I am on the right path, then I can also accept that. I can accept that, you know, it takes time and that I just need to be patient. And so if that's the case, like, help me focus and just stay on like the very next step that's being asked. And then what came through to really ask for is just, you know, help me to access the strength within myself, because that's what I know is the key. It's like the strength is all within me, so just help me connect to it, help me access it. And then I don't know, it just came to me to like look at the painting that I'm working on with my client, and it's finished, but she hasn't picked it up yet. And I looked at it and I've seen a lot, but I just thought, just look at it again, you know? Like, if you believe in your work and your ability to see, then look at this painting, which is my client's, but also represents me and the rest of the world, really. So trust in what I create and the information that my own creations have for me. And so I looked at it, and yeah, I'll tell you what I